On July 13th, 2025, the U.S. Postal Service is raising their rates again. Doesn't it feel like they've been raising them a lot lately? I know this is something everybody's been talking about. We can whine, complain, but this is what's going on. In my opinion, instead of whining and complaining, I want to understand why. Why are these rate increases keep coming? Because they don't seem to be stopping. Let's deep dive into this, see what we can find out. And who knows, maybe we'll agree with them afterwards. I don't know. It's not going to be fun, but let's look at it. My name is Ann, and I've been reselling for quite some time with my husband, Bill. And I'm just sharing tips, tricks on things I've learned through my time reselling. And hopefully I'll learn from you guys as well. So let's deep dive into this topic. So overall, there's going to be about a 7.4% increase overall. This is an average between all the different increases that they're doing. I mean, this even includes the 5 cents that they're going to increase when you mail a letter. That price is going up 5 cents. So if you got your stamps before July 13th, that's awesome because it'll save you in the long run. I personally don't use a lot of stamps, so it's not really going to affect me that much. Where this is going to affect me is more with the priority mail and the ground advantage. Now, I will say, since they brought out Ground Advantage, that is majority what I use these days. If you look at my shelves up here, these top shelves used to be all priority boxes. Now I have this little tiny corner, and that's about it. I very rarely use priority anymore. So priority mail doesn't concern me quite as much. They're going to increase that, let's see, 7.3% for retail. But if you buy your labels through eBay or Pirate Ship, it's going to be 5.1% increase. Ground Advantage, that one concerns me a little bit more. And that one had 9.8% for retail, or 4.7% if you buy your labels through eBay or Pirate Ship or a commercial type program. So that's what I would suggest. Make sure you're buying. Don't buy them at the retail counter. You don't want that. It's when I see people, I'm always like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're paying that. So basically we're looking at 4.7 for Ground Advantage, so almost 5%, and priority commercial is 5.1. So let's just say 5%. It's going up for your shipping packages. That's not chump change. I will say that. You are going to notice that type of increase, and so are your customers. So the first item we have is Kanye West. It's an LP. It's a 3 LP. And it sold for $40.50, and it was free shipping. The next item we have is a Swiss Army type knife. It's called the Wonder Knife. It's got all the attachments. Let's see. It's even got a wine opener, it looks like, but it's got a lot of attachments. This sold on a 20% discount we were having, $11.99, and the customer did pay shipping. So when I started this video, I said, I want to understand why. Why are we having all these increases at the post office? We can all say it's inflation, or we all have our theories, right? The economy is bad, whatever. But why? I want to know why. So the U.S. Postal Service is actually telling us why if we look into it. It's part of a 10-year plan, and it's called Delivering for America. And so these increases were planned increases. It's not like they just did this whimsy or, oh, it sounds like a good time to increase the mail rates. Customers aren't going to notice. Yeah, we're noticing. We're definitely noticing. Here are the goals of Delivering for America plan. The first one is reduce losses. I don't know if you realize this, but the Postal Service isn't a government-run agency. It is all self-funded. I'm not saying they've never gotten any money from the government, but for the majority, it is run off of the money that it brings in through stamps, delivery costs, the little packaging they sell at the post office. They're self-supporting. We don't pay for it as taxpayers. And right now, they're losing money. They're not profitable at all. They're lucky if they break even, and they're not. They have losses. The other thing is replacing aging infrastructure. I know in Atlanta, they were combining locations. They're re-looking at all these things. And the other thing they want to do is they do want to improve efficiency. Ongoing rate hikes are going to be going on every 6 months through 2026. Am I saying that they're going to stop after 2026? No. I would be surprised if they did. But we can definitely count on them through that time. In May of 2024, U.S. Postal Service actually put out a press release, and this is a quote from that press release. Sorry, I'm looking down, but I'm going to get this word for word for you. As operating expenses rise and mail volume continues to decline, price adjustments are necessary to maintain universal service and deliver long-term financial sustainability. So that was in May 2024. That is the goal of delivering to America. Okay, I'm going to pull another item real quick. We got Rory Gallagher here, and that sold for $20 free shipping. Here we got another LP vinyl record. It's Shane's 1963 to 68, and this sold for $21 free shipping. One of the things they're trying to do is lower the cost of their labor. And one way they're doing this is they're offering early retirement packages to some of their longtime employees. I know at our post office, we have a very small post office. There's only a 2-person counter, and a lot of times there's only 1 person up at the counter at a time. And so we get to know our postal workers pretty good, and we lost a couple of them to the early retirement program, and I'll tell you, they're missed. But that is one thing the post office is doing. They're trying to lower their labor costs. Another thing that they are doing is they're taking facilities and they're combining them, especially their distribution centers. I know in our area, so I'm in Aiken County, South Carolina, and a lot of our mail goes through Atlanta, Georgia. Well, in 2024, we did feel it. You could tell they were consolidating. I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 facilities, but they were combining the facilities, and there were a couple delays, there were a couple lost packages. Since they've completed it, it's gotten much better. We haven't had any issues. But this is a disruption while they're going through this, and different parts of the country are going to have it at different times. This is something still going on, and I can't tell you what areas are going to be affected when. I can tell you that it did affect us for a couple months, and then they got it under control, and it's been much better since. But as the Postal Service starts combining these different facilities, you may feel it. If you're starting to see disruption, maybe talk to your postal workers and see if they have any insight. I mean, a lot of times there's reasons. You should really talk to your postal workers. All right, let's pull another order here. This is actually a tool for Yamaha boats. It is a specialty tool. This sold for $35 free shipping. This is actually a lot of records. It's all by the call, but it's 4 LPs. We knew selling them separately, we wouldn't get very much money for it. So we sold them together at $28 and we did give free shipping. All right, we got a couple more sales here to go through. This is a Mercury service manual. You know, we've been selling a few of these. This one sold for $20 and the customer did pay shipping. We have a music CD. This one's called The Cramps, A Date with Elvis. And this sold for $23.75 and it was free shipping. Now this one's a pretty big one and it sold for $45 and it was free shipping. It's a Johnson Boat Motors service manuals. It was a set, and so that will get out to the customer as well. So now that we understand why, it's basically they are trying to improve the situation so that the U.S. Postal Service can continue running, offer their services without any government support. And honestly, I hope they continue because I think we'd be lost without the Postal Service. Am I crazy about the increases? No. Do I think they're part of life? Yeah. I think one thing is, think about it. A lot of their income came from the letters that we used to mail. How many thank you cards do you mail anymore? How many gift cards do you send? You send them, but not as often, right? You end up doing a gift card through Amazon or whatever. Or just sending in bills. I mean, we don't pay our bills anymore with a stamp. We go online. So that money is lost. The other thing that is causing a lot of this inflation for them as well is same things that we get hit with. The cost of fuel has gone up. Think about the amount of fuel that the USPS has been using. They go all over the country. They have to fly this stuff all over the place. All that stuff costs. And inflation, guess what? They get hit with it too. They're a business just like we are, and all these costs come somewhere. So yeah, it sucks. It sucks that there are increases, but they also sort of make sense, right? It's just part of life, and we have to work it out. Now, as resellers, though, we do need to consider this, and we need to consider how it's going to affect our businesses. So how do we do that? One, make sure you're buying your labels either on eBay or Pirate Ship or something similar. You want to be paying the commercial rates, not the retail rates. Like I said earlier, when I go to the post office and I hear what people pay for a package to be shipped, it makes me sick. I mean, it is just crazy what they're paying. So first off, that's one thing. The other thing is there's usually price increases twice a year, every 6 months. Pay attention to these. Make sure that you are putting enough money into your products. Like you saw, I had quite a few free shipping. I have to consider the cost of what my shipping costs are when I price that out. And I really need to consider this not only when I'm listing, but when I'm buying an item. Because that's when you make the decision of what you're going to pay for something, what your cost of goods are. It's just something you have to pay attention in your business. What are your shipping costs going to be? And it's just something to keep in mind. The other thing I will point out is, as much as it's frustrating for these rate increases, because we do need to consider it when we are purchasing our cost of goods, when we're listing, when we're marketing our items, we do need to include those costs in our planning, in our business planning. But one thing I will say is all this restructuring, as frustrating as it was when Atlanta did it, overall, I think in the long run, it's going to pay off. I think that they are going to find a way to get more efficient and more cost effective. I know that Ground Advantage overall has saved me money. And honestly, that's the main way I ship now. Are these price increases painful? Yes. Is the reorganization of the infrastructure painful? Oh yeah, it was. When they did Atlanta, it was frustrating, but we got through it. I think in the long run, it is going to be more efficient and more cost effective in the long run. And hopefully, it will lower the increases that we see in the future. I don't know. Will it not? You're still going to have other things that affect it. In the meantime, just make sure you're taking care of your own business and you're taking care of your clients, and just make sure that you're adjusting your pricing accordingly and your purchasing. In the meantime, happy selling.